3 years ago, I set out to construct the most powerful nootropic stack for focus, motivation, and sheer cognitive horsepower. I logged hundreds of hours, sampled endless amounts of cognitive performance chemicals, and ran beta tests with soldiers from the United States Army. And after massive experimentation and ruthless trial and error, my work had finally paid off. I found what I was looking for. Boom! The mighty Cortex nootropic stack. Snag a bottle at livecortex.com. You will not be disappointed. One of the most powerful stacks out there, and the basis for what we're going to talk about, but it's a different stack. We just used the uridine and CDP choline combo from the stack we're going to talk about to create this powerful stack, because it is powerful. Mr. Happy Stack. Let me just give you the preface. A company in Australia made a product called Suvinade. Suvinade's intention is to positively impact people with Alzheimer's disease. It's a collection of ingredients that are supposed to facilitate neurogenesis, the spawning of new neurons, and to facilitate neurite outgrowth, the growth of dendrites and axons between neurons, to better send signals from one neuron to another, so that when the signal or the neurotransmitter ends up on the receiving neuron, it causes the response, and then you get sort of a excitatory response, a positive response, or you get an inhibitory response and you feel calm. That is a sort of basic gist of Suvinade. So an Australian company created a liquid product. It's a liquid product called Suvinade, which has a bunch of different ingredients which are targeted toward helping Alzheimer's disease. They're running clinical trials. I'm not sure it's available in stores yet in Australia. It's certainly not in the US. And who knows what's going to happen with it. Well, just as people take things for Alzheimer's disease and it affects their brain performance if they just don't have Alzheimer's and they're at baseline, like huperzine A, which is an acetylcholine esterase inhibitor that is used for treating Alzheimer's. It works in improving the brain performance of regular people who don't have Alzheimer's. Well, the same is true with Suvinade and these ingredients. Here are the ingredients. Uridine monophosphate, a choline source, 3 B vitamins, I believe, B6, B9, B12, DHA, which is one of the omega-3 fatty acids. I believe the other fatty acid is in there too, EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and a few micronutrients, selenium and I believe magnesium. But essentially the guts of the stack is uridine, choline, B vitamins, DHA. That's the guts of the stack. And it's supposed to facilitate neurogenesis. It's supposed to spawn new neurons. It's supposed to help the brain to grow, right? It is literally the ingredients that are involved in cellular growth and repair in the brain. There's a whole bunch of rat studies on DHA, choline, and uridine, and it in fact does do this. Well, a guy with the handle Mr. Happy in the Longevity forum, which is like a life longevity forum, they talk about nootropics, biohacking, a bunch of cool stuff, started a thread called DHA, choline, and uridine, something to that effect. You can Google DHA, choline, uridine, Mr. Happy Stack, and go read it on longevity.org, I believe. It's like a 100-page thread almost. And in the first page of the thread, he talks about all the ingredients that are in this Suvinade product. In Australia, that's supposed to help Alzheimer's. Uridine, choline, DHA, B vitamins, magnesium, selenium, etc. And he cites all the different studies that talk about how it is neurogenic, how it does help axons and dendrites to project to other neurons, how it does positively affect dopamine receptors and acetylcholine receptors, and how it does facilitate good brain function. Well, the whole rest of the thread on longevity, where this guy named Mr. Happy, I mean that's his handle, posted about these ingredients that are in Suvinade, this Australian-based product that's supposed to target Alzheimer's, is people trying the stack, getting the individual ingredients, uridine, choline, B vitamins, DHA, and reporting all their results on it. Most people had positive results, some people had negative results, some people had no results. That's with all nootropics. But most people had a significantly powerful result. What people report is that it gives them more brain energy, more endurance, better working memory, better verbal fluency, positive mood impacts. Lots of people talk about it positively affecting their mood, giving them profound wakefulness. People talk about it being one of the best nootropic combinations they've ever taken, period. And there's 100 pages of people talking about their experiences, citing different studies, talking about uridine, talking about the B vitamins, talking about the interaction between everything. And it's super interesting if you're like me and you want to understand it all and you go read it. I read the whole 100 pages. It's basically crazy. But the point is, so that's it. I mean, that's the Mr. Happy Stack. Australian company makes a product called Suvene that's supposed to impact Alzheimer's positively. It's got uridine, choline source, DHA, B vitamins, magnesium, selenium. It puts together. A guy named Mr. Happy starts a thread in Longevity, the forum, where he talks about all the different studies that cite its positive effects on the brain. A bunch of people try it, and a 100-page thread ensues about talking about it. And that is the Mr. Happy Stack. The doses are generally as follows. Uridine in 200 milligram doses, once or twice a day. This is where you have to get into variation, finding out what's right for you. Alpha GPC or CEP choline in 100 or 200 milligram doses. RDA for B6, B9, B12. And then between 1,000 and 1,500 or so milligrams of DHA. And I don't remember if EPA, the other fatty acid, omega-3 fatty acid, is in there, but if it is, it's probably around the same. It's like 1,500 milligrams, 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams. That's essentially the basis for the doses on the stack. You'll want to titrate and find your own, particular dose that works for you. For me, somewhere around 175 milligrams of uridine and 100 milligrams of CDP choline is best with the RDA for B vitamins. And that's something you'll have to experiment with, and that's essentially it. That's the Mr. Happy Stack. But how it relates to Cortex is that, I read the whole 100-page thread. I was in the process of formulating Cortex years ago and came across uridine, came across this thread, did all the research, recognized its neurogenic effects and cellular repair effects and axon and dendrite effects, started taking it. It was profound. I mixed it with a choline source in the right quantity. It was profound. That was the basis for the Cortex Nootropics hack. We just didn't want to put B vitamins in there and DHA because some people react negatively to B vitamins. A lot of people do. In fact, if it's over the RDA, it makes them anxious, gives them side effects. We sort of rely on people eating fish and taking B vitamins or getting enough B vitamins in the fish or in meat or whatever you might eat to take B vitamins. So that's the extent of it. There is no stack out there that you can put together, that you can go buy that is the Mr. Happy Stack. Cortex is probably the closest. Cortex with some fish oil and B vitamins. That's it. That's basically the extent of it. And some magnesium and selenium, which you probably get from your diet unless you just take a supplement. But it might be something that we work on in the future, sort of launching a stack similar to that. We're working on it, but again, we're sort of tossing around the idea of putting B vitamins in there because people sometimes have negative results from it. But that's the basis of it. Google DHA, choline, uridine, Mr. Happy Stack, and read the whole 100 pages to find out more. And you'll find that it's pretty profound. And if you try it, you will find that it is pretty